Okay, so hello. Uh, First of all, yesterday actually I had recorded the video and I had studied, but I could not upload it for some reason. So yeah, I uploaded it in the morning, and this one is going to be out now, just after I finish it. So there will be two today, but yeah. Although this is the code again, and tomorrow, by the way, I'll book my slot for Viva. So my Viva will be on the day after tomorrow, which is like 15th August, Independence Day. So yeah. Anyways, I'll have to do that at 10, and most of the slots get like booked out and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll have to look out and do as soon as I can. But anyways, for now, by the way, it's kind of late because I had to again go out and eat, and there was some work also that I needed to take care of, and it's done, and I'm back. Although I do need to sleep at like 10:30, although I don't think I will be able to. But yeah, at max, I want to sleep before 11 or 10:45 or whatever, so I can go to the gym on time. And anyways, so let us not wait any further. And this is the channel that I had found. And okay, is my internet gone now? Shit. Uh, no, it is working correctly. I'm not really sure why is this. Uh, what's happening around here? Yeah, internet is working fine. I'm not sure why is this not working. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It is fast, bruh. Let me open this shit again. Uh, 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 this one seems kinda useful. Let me watch it later and come back to this.
So you just mentioned that you
Uh, 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 okay.
This video is the first of a series.
Shit, the volume is too loud, I guess. So basically, I have a RESTful API playlist. Uh, we also have this. Uh, 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 Flask migrate. Okay, I don't think we need migrate or something. Yeah. So I'll just focus on this first, and let me see what is this about. Okay, Django is not needed. No, 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 no. Flask plus celery, yes, that is useful. Yeah, so what do we need to do is basically do this first and then this one. And I think that will be nice. Let me see what do we have here. Okay, it's basically compilation, I guess. Uh, cool. So I'll just finish this playlist right now, and then maybe do this celery tomorrow. Anyways, let us not waste any time and let's go.
This video is the first of a series of videos on how to create a RESTful API using Python and Flask. In this first video, I'm going to cover.
By the way, this video is like 9 years old, and okay, this also seems useful. Let me just not watch later. Let me just open it, and I'll come back to it later. But yeah, as you can see, like these videos are quite old, and you can guess how old Flask is with this. And that is it, though. There cannot be anything else that we can do. Uh, yeah, let's just start.
How to do GET requests for this API that we're going to build. So first, let me show you what I have set up so far. Up here, I'm just importing the relevant items. And then down here, I'm simply running the app in debug mode. So here's the important part for what I have so far. It's just a route on the index that simply returns message it works in JSON form. So let me show you it in the browser.
God damn, can you see how old this browser is, bruh?
And there, it's just message it works and it's in JSON form, it's valid JSON. So now to show you how to do GET requests with data that's close to real, I'll start by creating a list of dictionaries that would represent something that you would normally pull from the database. But I'm not going to cover database connections in this video because it's out of the scope for it. So I'll create this list of items, I'll call it languages. And in this list, I'm going to have a few dictionaries representing the data. So name, and we'll have JavaScript as one of the languages. And then another one would be Python. And one more would be, let's say, Ruby. So now that I have this list, I want to return everything in this list. So I'm going to create another route. And the route for this, let's say lang. And then I only want it to work with GET requests. So I'll add GET to the methods. And then I need to define a function here. I'll call this return all. No, it's not the best name. And then I'll simply return a JSONified version of languages. But first I have to wrap it in another dictionary. So I'll call it languages as the key. And as the values, I'll just say languages. Let me save that. The server should have restarted. It did. And refresh. Server's still up. So let me go to the lang endpoint. And now you can see everything I had in that list was returned here. So for the second example, I'm going to show you how to get something directly out of it, or at least something that matches everything. Since this object is fairly basic, I'm going to search by the name. And by getting the name, I'll return the dictionary associated with that name. If it had more data, it would make sense. But by just returning this one dictionary for whatever language we choose, you can see how it worked, even if there were more key value pairs in the same dictionary. So for the second one, I'm going to define another route. This time it's going to be lang again, but it's going to have a parameter in it. So we're going to first specify the data type of the parameter. So it's going to be a string, and then we'll give it a name. So I'll just call it name because it matches the keys in the dictionaries up here. The methods will only be get again. And then I need to define a function that this route calls. I'm going to call it return 1. And it just needs to take in all the values that are used as parameters. So in this case, only one name. So what I want to do with this name is search the languages list for any dictionary that matches the name. And if it matches the name, put it into a new list. And then from that new list, I can JSONify the element and we can view it in the browser. So the first thing I need to do is search for all the dictionaries that have the name. And in this case, since it's unique, the search is only going to return one dictionary. So I'll call this one Langs, and here's the syntax for searching. It's one way to search through all the items in the list and return a new list with only the items that match. So let's do language for language and languages, which is the list up here. If language name, if the language name is equal to the name, so basically if the language name is equal to the name that's passed into this return one function, which comes from the API endpoint, then it creates a new list with all the matches. So I need to return the match that was found. So I'm going to return the JSONified version of, let's say, language. And since this is a list that gets returned, I want to only return the first element of the list, the 0th element, because the name is going to be unique in this example, and we know that the language is going to be at that location. And before we move on, I can see one issue. This should have the leading slash. So let's save it and run it. So it changed. And let me show you lang again. And then I'll say lang Python, and it returns the one dictionary with the name matching Python. And in a real example, there would be more data in here. So for Python, you'd have more keys and values, say like a version, so 3.5, and other keys that you can have values for that make the data make more sense. So in the next video, we're going to cover post requests. So stay tuned for that video. Thanks for watching.
Stop wasting time applying for jobs on LinkedIn or Naukri or other online job portals. You know why?
Okay.
This is the second video in the series of videos on how to create a RESTful API using Python and Flask. In the last video, we covered how to do GET requests, and in this video, we're going to cover how to do POST requests. So before we get started, I want to show you this Chrome extension called Postman. This is going to be used to send requests to the API endpoints, because we won't be able to
God damn, Postman is like quite old. It looks so much different now. I mean, like obviously, but yeah.
use the browser to do POST requests, at least not easily. So right here, I have a GET request set up for the lang endpoint that I created in the first video. And when I send it, I get back a list of languages. So I still have the same code from the first video. In this video, I'm going to add another endpoint to cover POST. And it's actually going to be the same endpoint as this one. The only difference is instead of using the GET method, we're going to use the POST method. So let's get started building that. So we have to start off with app.routes, and we're going to use the same endpoint as before, but the only difference will be the method will change. Instead of a GET, it will be a POST request. And with this POST request, we're going to add to our list of dictionaries. In a real application, you would probably update.
Just a second. Let me put my phone on charge, otherwise it's gonna die. And I don't want that. Okay, sorry for the distraction or pause, I guess. Let me just make sure it is charging. Cool.
Take the database in some way or insert into the database, but for our purposes, we're only going to pin to the languages list that we created in the first video. So I'm going to call the function that's called by this route add1. And adding another element to this languages list will be pretty simple. The first thing we have to do is extract the language that the user will add. So to do that, we'll create a dictionary. We'll call it language, just to keep with the naming convention. And it's going to be a dictionary. The name is the key, and the value is going to be the value retrieved from the JSON that was sent along with the POST request. So sending the POST request will always have a JSON object accompanying it that represents the new language that's going to be added to our list of languages. So to extract that value from the JSON object that's sent along with the POST request, we're going to use the request object, which was included above. And the request object has a .json method, and this JSON method simply will return the value for whatever key you specify. So the dictionary that we're going to send with a post request is going to have the same form as the dictionaries up here. So it's going to be name and then some language. So we want the value for whatever the name is. So this here, request.json name, will return whatever name the user specifies and creates a new dictionary with the name as the key and that value returned from the JSON as the value. And then using that language dictionary, we're going to append to the languages list of dictionaries. So languages.append, and simply add the language there. And then finally, what we want to do is we want to return everything. So we're going to return the list of languages that have been updated after appending the language that the user specified. So return the JSONified version of languages with the values languages. And that's it. So let's see if the server restarted. Well, it did. So we're going to go over to Postman. And instead of using a GET request, we're going to change this to a POST request. And we have to send along a JSON object with the POST request. So here in the body section, what we want to do is we want to create a JSON object with the new language we're going to add. So let's add C++ as the language. So now when I send this POST request, it should add C++ to the list of languages. So instead of having 3 JavaScript, Python, and Ruby, it will have 4 JavaScript, Python, Ruby, and C++. Let's see if it works. So here's what's returned, JavaScript, Python, Ruby, C++. So you can tell that it was added to the list of languages. Let's add another one. Instead of C++, let's do Go. And now our list has 5 languages in it. So post requests are really that simple. The most important part is just using the request object to extract whatever data is sent in the JSON object that comes along with the post request, and using that data in the JSON object to update whatever objects you have or any database that you may have. So in the next video, we're going to talk about how to do put requests, which are traditionally used in RESTful APIs for updating, whereas posts were for inserting. The puts will be for updating something in the database. So I'll see you in that video.
Want to get into software development, data analytics, or IT and security? Well, do yourself a favor and grab this course on Udemy.
This is the 3rd video in the series of videos on how to create a RESTful API using Python and Flask. In the first 2 videos, we covered how to do GET requests and POST requests. In this video, we're going to cover how to do PUT requests, which are traditionally used to update data in your application. So we'll recap what we've done so far using Postman. I already have it open. By running git on /lang, I get all the languages that I have in the object. So what I want to do is I want to specify one of the languages to update. So I'll take, let's say, JavaScript and change the name to something else. So to write the code to do that, it's very similar to how we did GET requests on a single name. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is create the endpoint, and it's going to be the same endpoint as the GET request for returning one language. But instead of a GET request, it's going to be a put request. So /lang string name, and then for methods, we're going to use put. We can call it edit1, and it's going to take in name as a parameter. And then what we need to do is we need to find the dictionary in the list that has the name that was passed to the endpoint. So it's going to be exactly the same as up here. So langs equals okay, so this returns all the languages that match the name. And since our names are unique, it's only going to return 1. And then what we need to do is we want to update that one record that was returned. So in Python, this list is by reference. So even if we change the name of this list that's returned by searching, it's still going to reference this list up here. So langs and languages are related because this langs is just all the dictionaries in this languages list that have the name. And since it's only 1, we're only going to have one name, one dictionary in this list. But if we update this one, we automatically will update this one. So let's go ahead and update this one. So langs of 0, because it's unique, so we know we have to update the 0 element in the list. And we're looking for the name key, which is the only key in the dictionary. And we're going to assign it to the object, the JSON object passed in. So we're going to use request.json. Okay, so this is just saying that we're going to update the name to whatever the name is in the JSON. And the last thing we need to do is return the JSONified version of this dictionary. So language It's going to be langs of 0, which is the one we just updated. And now we can go back to Postman, run the get on all languages, and we see we have JavaScript, Python, and Ruby. So we're going to do a put request on JavaScript, and we want to change JavaScript to something else. So in the body, we're going to create a JSON object. The name is going to be changed to, let's say, Go. So by running this, I should update the dictionary in the list. So it returned the single dictionary with a new name. So now if I run a GET request on all the languages again, I should no longer see JavaScript, I should see Go in its place. So now we have Go, Python, and Ruby. So that's all it took to update the list of languages by using the put request. In the next video, we're going to cover how to do delete requests, which is just simply removing dictionaries from the list. Thanks for watching.
Nahi Baba, you don't need months of training to learn Microsoft Power BI. What?
In this video, we're going to cover how to use delete requests in our API that we're building. So in the previous videos, we dealt with GET requests, POST requests, and PUT requests. This video, we're going to deal with delete requests. So here I have Postman open. I've already ran a GET on lang, which returns all the languages I have in the dictionary. And what the delete request is going to do is simply pass in the name of one of these languages and remove it from the list of languages. So let's get started building that. Delete will be very similar to the put request and the GET request that specifies a name. So the first thing is setting up the route. And the methods will be delete. I'm going to call this remove one, and it's going to take in the name from here as the parameter. And just like the put request here and the GET request up here, I need to search for all the languages in the list of languages that have a name. But since the name is unique, it's only going to return one name. So I'll call this lang. And I'll do this for language and languages. If language name. So this is going to search the language list and return the language that matches the name, just like in the previous put request. Then once you have that link, you want to take the languages list and remove the value returned by lang. And since it's unique, it's going to be at index 0. Finally, we want to return all the languages. So just sonify languages and then languages again, just like above. Let's see if everything worked fine. Everything worked in Reloader. So let's try deleting Ruby. So we're going to change this to a delete request. And let's send it and see what happens. Alright, so we return the list of languages, JavaScript and Python, and Ruby is now absent. And we can verify this by going to this GET request, get the lang, sending, and we see that Ruby is no longer there. So I hope that helps you understand how to use the delete request in the Flask API. Thanks for watching.
Alright, so we are not actually going to watch this because we are not doing MongoDB. So that is it for today actually. I'll have to do some other things and then go to bed. I will actually do, not this one, but sending emails, celery in Flask, Flask plus celery, whatever. Yeah, so let me just keep this open only. And I've already done it though by searching online and getting this code from documents and stuff. But yeah, tomorrow we'll understand it a bit better so that I can do better in project Viva. Although I will need to start doing all this from tomorrow morning only. But yeah, that is it for now. We'll be taking the leave and uploading this short video today. But anyways, if you're watching till now and till here, then have a great day or night, and I'll see you tomorrow with the new video. By the way, today I will surely upload this, and actually I will be uploading this right now just after I stop the recording. So yeah, bye bye.